Everyone. Welcome to USCIS channel. In this video, we look at the latest guidance given by USCIS as well as CBP after the Trump administration has announced their proclamation that adds up a $100,000 fee for anyone outside of the US. So this is what we'll look at this in the video. So what we'll cover is look at a high-level background. Again, just to look at what has been announced in a very high level, and then look at what these new policy memos that have been released, clarifying what things have happened, and also what it's not clear that has come out of that, right? So that's what we'll look at in this video. So the big news that if you see, in the last couple of days, there have been a lot of crazy amount of announcements coming back and forth, confusions all over the place. But just a sort of some sort of relief, not at everything, right? These are two policy memos that were published by USCIS and CBP. Essentially, they're pretty much the same, right? There's some variations in them, but we look at what of these things are, right? So that's what we'll cover in this video. Just to give you a background, in case just to put things out there, President Trump signed an executive order on September 19th, basically that restricts entry of H1B workers who are not in the US, and they need to pay about $100,000 if they're, that's the executive order. We have done a complete video on that. You can watch that. So all in all, what you see on the screenshot and on the screen is the gist of the proclamation, right? So that's what it is. So this has created a lot of chaos and confusion, and there are a lot of people who are confused with all of these things. So yeah, there was some guidance that was given around that. So by USCIS and CBP, again, it's not really clear. It does not cover everything, but at least on a high level, this is what the guidance suggests, right? So what they've clearly clarified from the policy guidance is that the memo clearly tells that it is only applicable to future H1B petitions filed after the September 21st, 2025, which is after the effective date of the proclamation, which is technically from today if you're watching it today, right? So that's the idea. The second one is there is no impact to current H1B holders. So what it means is that if you hold an H1B approved petition, it doesn't impact you. If you already have applied an H1B petition with USCIS, it doesn't apply to you because you already applied to them. And the third one is if you have a valid H1B visa in your passport, it doesn't apply to you. So this is a very, very big one because many people were confused if it applies existing visa holders. Let's say you are traveling and you're coming back, you can't come back. So this was the confusion that everybody was stuck. So at least this one clarifies that, which is a good thing, at least at the moment, right? So there is still a lot of unknowns though. So that's what the thing, the crux of that, right? And the other aspects are there is no travel impact for current H1B holders who have visas issued. As of now, they're free to travel back and forth. Technically, you can leave the country and then go and they can come back. So there is nothing stopping you. This will not apply to you. That's the guidance is, right? And USCIS and Department of State would implement a way to collect this money for new H1B petitions that are outside the US. That's what they're planning to do, which is anyways that's announced. And as of now, CBP will continue to process this for H1B holders as per existing policies. What are the kind of guidance that's out there that they have been processing it? That's what they will do going forward. Just whatever is on the screenshot is the actual text, the relevant text from the policy memo. So if you see, it clearly highlights the proclamation only applies prospectively to petitions that have not yet been filed. What it means is that prospective means in the future and not yet been filed. So only for the future ones, not for the current ones, right? And the second one is does not apply to aliens who are beneficiaries that were filed prior to the effective date. That's the thing we just looked at. And the third one is the last one is does not impact ability of current visa holders to travel back and forth. So this is the CBP memo, right? In this one, it clearly tells does not impact the ability of any current H1B holder to travel to or from United States. So again, this is basically the shortest, memo that was released, and it also, in fact, this has created more and more confusion after this for people. It's sad, but it's ironic. This is going to create more confusions because still a lot of things are not clear. So. And that's about that, right? What has come through, and again, there were also a lot of confusion. Many users asked, "Oh, in press, the press secretary said that it will be every year and all of that." So again, there is a clarification done again on Twitter by White House press secretary, Caroline Levitt, that it is not an annual fee and it's only for outside and people who are outside and trying to re-enter, and only for new visas, and they're telling only for upcoming H1B lottery, which is next year, right? Again, we'll talk about some of these things. We don't know what the reality is, because there is no clarity given. A tweet means nothing. It needs to be a policy document. So that's what we continue to wait. So basically, if you look at the overall things, right, what is not clear at the moment, it does not clarify if it applies to camp exempt applicants. Let's say you apply, if you work for a university and they file camp exempt petitions now back and forth without the lottery. So what will happen to them, right? Does it apply to them if they're bringing in somebody, a research scientist from outside of the America to in, then does it apply to them? That's not clear. And also, it does not clarify, when during lottery for next year, right? If you are already in the US and you're applying for the first time, will it apply to you? Because, when you exit and re-enter, how will it work? That's not clear. And also, it does not clarify, let's say you're an H1B, you apply for an extension because as per the language, when the memo, it says applies to petitions after September 21st. So let's say now you apply for an extension. Now, when you exit the country and come back, will it apply to you? It's not clear also. So again, there are a lot of these very scenarios that are not related, to be honest, right? So this has created more and more confusion to people. And again, this is a really evolving news. So maybe whatever I said in this video may also not be applicable, or some things may change as we get more information. So I would say, take it with a pinch of salt. And if you are already in the US, do not try to get out of the country and get into any trouble. So just to wait until all of this just settles down in the next few days, right? And then you take a call on what to do, right? So hopefully, then by the end of next week, we should have all of these sorted out. There should be FAQs and all of these given and all of that, right? Because currently it's in very, very raw form, and things may change, here and there. So yeah, hopefully it helped everybody. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe for getting regular updates.